au quotidien. Ces châtaignes.
SonarFeed! Woo!
And we're live, gentlemen.
Are we live?
We are.
Oh, we're live?
Ooh, we live.
Tim, this is your part.
Oh.
Welcome to SonarFeed.
Well, that was interesting.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Episode 236 for those watching at home.
Clickbait title.
Clickbait title. I hope I spelled it right.
Episode. You did. You spelled that right.
Okay. Good.
So welcome to SonarFeed, everybody. Here live at the Berliner Pub in lovely Renton.
3rd and Main, ahead of the curve.
People are like, I can't decide if I want to drop the ahead of the curve or the location. That's cool. We got noise. It's a beautiful evening.
Gorgeous.
We're all chilling with our beers.
Short sleeves.
Short sleeves.
Long jacket.
Yeah.
No
North,
long jacket.
North Face is happening or something over there.
Helly Hansen.
So let's see. Survey the audience. We've got long sleeve people. Anyway,
Sold out crowd tonight.
sold out here at the Berliner.
Largest
Standing
sonar
room
feed
only.
ever. The cameras never show the crowd.
But in all seriousness, great crowd. They're always here. So thank you for coming.
There's more people here than FC Dallas had at the stadium.
Seriously, though. Seriously. Oak or somebody had made a comment on Twitter, and he's like, is that end of the stadium going to be under construction forever?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that seems about right. So, Bregel, we did actually discuss the show title being Time to Pancake.
Time to pancake.
Just because. But we moved on to clickbait title. So, thanks, Tim.
You're welcome. I do things.
Actually, time to pancake is my first question every morning. Time to pancake? Oh, 5 minutes.
That's
And then that's when my
pancakes.
pancake
Thanks for joining us
Shows
on
up.
SonarFeed tonight, everyone.
is 5 minutes after I ask.
Anyway,
long
we,
does it
so we
take
have
to get
some
a pancake?
fun, and by fun I mean not really fun at all, things to discuss tonight. But we'll discuss the merits of getting an argument with Dave Clark on the internet.
Dave's not here, man.
He's not here to defend
And by the
himself.
way, shout out to Dave Clark for being a broadcaster. For real.
Great article for anyone who didn't read it, by the
It
way.
was.
Yes.
Legit, read it on Sound at Heart. You know, I know Dave is happy to opine on things and speak facts on things, but it was neat to see what he had to say about it. And having talked to Dave on the phone when he was offered the gig, and he's like, so this opportunity came around. What do you think about that? And I was like, you should do it.
Yeah.
And you saw if you read the article, you saw the people that he had talked to, and they were all like, what's the worst that could happen, basically. And I don't think anyone ever would
The
have
worst that could
expected-
happen for Dave was that they would require him to wear a suit and tie, and they did.
Wait, didn't that happen?
Yes.
Yeah. And he made it. He
And
survived the
he
evening.
did great.
So when Dave's back, we'll discuss a little bit more about his experience. We will touch on first night at Cheney
Yes.
for S2. Adam, you have some good stuff to chat
Yes.
about on that later tonight. So that is. It is probably the bright spot. I mean, there's some other minor bright spots, but is the bright spot for tonight's show. But before we get into it, why don't we run around the horn to my right, your left?
That's me.
Who are you?
I'm Adam at Weigel on the Twitters.
What else do you do here?
I am currently producing this show, and all around good guy.
What kind of pancakes do you like?
What kind of pancakes? I like regular pancakes with peanut butter and syrup.
Whoa.
All right. That's fair.
Nice and easy.
I'm Tom Biro,
Got to have that protein.
a.k.a. Bougiuli. And I...
AKA.
I don't know. I argue with people on the internet. To my left...
And
That
he's
was a
wrong.
great Nutmeg News article
he's
you wrote, by
wrong.
the way.
I got a lot of compliments on my Nutmeg News word today. There was a little bit that I think Dylan Larian on Twitter, among other places, was like, oh, that's a little too on the nose for right now. And it was like Portland and Seattle supporters all excited to be at the bottom of the table or something like that. And then the best is the other one, which is 100% accurate, and I genuinely didn't write it, but it was like, man wants to complain about or give list of things that supporter group should do to fix itself, but doesn't want to actually participate. And I was like, that's pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. I'm like, I have 70 emails from the you.
Yeah.
article guy.
What's
so anyway,
your favorite pancake?
what's my favorite pancake?
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's hard to go wrong with blueberry, but I'm a really big banana macadamia nut. Sometimes with coconut syrup. Yeah, it's really hard. Like
Somebody's
you
been to
feel
Hawaii
like
a
you're
few
just gonna
times.
writhe around on the ground from sugar afterwards, but it's totally worth it. Anyway, Mark, who are you?
Mark?
Which Mark?
This Mark?
Okay.
Foley.
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 SSSC
Foley.
Fody13 on the Twitters.
Mark.
What kind of
Foley.
pancakes do you like?
My favorite pancake is a Swedish pancake with lingonberries.
That is a wonderful answer.
Yeah.
Aren't Swedish pancakes
full of surprises.
Able skeevers?
No,
No,
crepes.
that's Norwegian.
Basically, they're a crepe.
Yeah.
Do you want to get in a fight? Because you just picked the right guy to get in a fight with. Are we gonna have like a Finland, Norway, Sweden off?
I like Finland.
Cool. Let's get to that in a minute. But we have a guest host here tonight.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
Hi. My
Hello.
name's Tim. I'm an ECS member. My favorite pancakes are going to be normal pancakes with whipped cream and strawberries on it.
Ooh, yeah.
Very easy, basic.
That's
There you
pretty
go.
easy.
Nobody
Yeah.
said chocolate chip.
I don't
Chocolate
forgot
chip.
they existed.
There's a few
pancakes are-
hands in the audience.
They're kind of exhausting.
They can be.
Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I can have one. Like, when you get one and it's like one big one on the whole plate, I'm a big fan of that. But you get like 4 of them, and then like people just dump chocolate chips on it. It's a little much.
make them smaller.
Don't come to me with reason.
Raisins?
I just learned that you could make them
Raisin
in different
pancakes?
sizes. Who knew that? Wow. Mix and match. Boysenberry syrup. So minute, whatever we're in, 3. We've learned about pancakes.
7.
I don't
Eighth
know.
minute.
Time's flying, Adam.
We're in the 8th minute.
Forgive me. Bregel
Yellow
says
card to
soccer
Tom
clock.
in the 8th
Bregel-
minute.
Oh, we did get our thumbs down. We always get one. Thanks.
We didn't even start talking about politics.
Jerry's not even here. We had to vote up just to.
How come we have a
Mix it up.
negative thumb already?
John Worthington.
Did
only
John
likes
do it?
basic pancakes.
John, did you do our negative thumb?
Probably. Anyway, so we have a few things to talk about tonight. So since we were last together, we were extremely optimistic about our chances in Guadalajara,
life.
Mexico. Also life. I'm still fairly optimistic about the life part.
Well,
I do have 2 beers in front of me, so I'm not sure what that says. But we were reasonably optimistic that we might leave Guadalajara with a future in CCL.
Survey says
I don't have a sound effect.
That's not a thing.
no.
Yeah.
No.
I need to get just a giant.
We're now up to 7 ups and 3 downs. Shit
What
is
the
getting
hell?
real.
Who's giving
Mickey
us the
said
downs?
buy him 10 beers or he'll give another thumbs down.
He's just registering YouTube accounts
Yeah.
right now. Mickey just built a bot. He just has a bot that's just registering new YouTube accounts and voting
so
us
it's like
down.
Tom on Twitter.
The show will basically just be deleted by the end of the episode here tonight.
Yes.
Wow, a squad perhaps. I think the chat might be in for it this evening. So cool. I have more people to argue with. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's what you do, right?
So, it's my job.
That's what the
Yeah.
internet's for.
Mad online, dude.
Yes.
Bring it on. So
I've never been mad online.
so
Lies.
for
Straight
those
up
of you
lies.
that are new to the show. Anyway, gentleman who has trash tweeted his ex-wife on the SonarFeed account.
But it wasn't mad.
Oh, he was mad. And then I think he high-fived like 20 people immediately afterwards. And then had a celebratory beer. Also immediately afterwards.
And prior.
Also. I mean, that's probably why he did the...
Right.
It's a good dunkel.
We'll get... So anyway... So... I'm done. No. So...
Been a good night.
So we went... We had a good run, SonarFeed.
And in the 10th minute,
We're going to go out hard.
we've been red carded and we're now off the air.
Sack tap.
Didn't even have to sack tap anybody.
There's still time.
The night is
So,
young.
anyways, so there was this little game last week versus Chivas, actual Chivas.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Guadalajara.
Hugo's fault. It's Hugo's fault for wearing
It
the Chivas
actually
hat.
is Hugo's fault.
Hugo's fault.
That's why we were discussing him being banned
Yeah.
from now on. That dude is like out on a lake with like dogs on a boat,
As
chilling
one does
today.
on a Monday.
Dogs that just like
I forgot to.
I guess. I mean, probably.
multiply over the course of the day.
I forgot to ask him for a dispatch.
In the middle of the lake.
I should have gotten a video dispatch from him.
Like, he has posted more snaps in the last 48 hours than I think I have total
What's a
in the
snap?
history of time on Snapchat.
Oh, okay.
Tim loves Snapchat.
I do, apparently.
So, JJ, we did not see the new replay angle of the Dempsey Red, but that's something we are going to talk about a little later during a new segment that we'll talk about in a little bit. So a little game happened, and there was a first half which wasn't amazing. There were some things we learned in the 24, 36 hours prior to that match. Like on Tuesday when, also on Snapchat, Nico Ladero had shaved his head and took a picture with his kid. And everyone was like, oh, maybe he posted that from before. Hashtag hopeful. And then it turned out that Nico Ladero has a foot issue and didn't travel,
Oh, fun.
along with Handwala Bwana. And we could probably go down
Can't
the
we
list
just
at this
name the
point.
people that actually went?
So, yeah. So the game started, and we got, what, seven minutes in, and then lost a forward. So that was awesome. And then we got 30-something minutes in and lost Chad Marshall. And I don't know if you watched that in detail, but it was like the boxing injury, like above his eye, was like covering his eye. And it wasn't like the whole thing just all swelled up all around it. It was like a ball on his
It
forehead.
was gross.
And they did like the boxing thing where they kind of flatten it out, essentially. And he comes back on the field, and I'm like, Chad Marshall, yeah! And then a few minutes later, they're like, Chad Marshall, no! And at like minute 40, I don't really think there was a lot of optimism because people felt really fearful, but at the same time, it wasn't 6-0 at the half or anything like that. So you go into the half and you come out saying, all right, let's go. Let's see what we can make happen here. And what was it, 50th minute? They scored. And then it was like the 55th minute, they scored again. And I think the first goal happens in
38th minute.
I think it was later than that. Anyway, just go look it up, Mark. It doesn't matter. It didn't feel like they were hole in the ground,
you
permanently
operate this?
dead in the first half.
Please send me a porn page.
And
we are ACS.com.
I actually have it right here. It's the 50th minute, the 55th minute, and then the 80th minute. So you went into the second half at a minimum optimistic that you weren't getting torched. And we all talked about last week when we made predictions, would we get out of there with a tie? A lot of us felt that we would. I would have been shocked had Chivas not scored away or at home for them. And that second goal just was such a backbreaker. Mm-hmm. Because the first one you're like, all right, it's 1. We're cool. We got this.
Yeah.
Nope. And then it went so far downhill after that second goal that it's one of those things where it sucks because you can imagine it sucking the life out of you in a bar, which it did. It sucked the life out of probably people in the section that traveled, which there was a decent crowd that went kind of on a whim. Well, except for Ugo on a whim. And at that point, like if you're the players, as confident as they all are as, professional athletes, I don't know, you just had 2 effectively star players on your team go down in the first half of a game, and now you're down 2. Not optimal. Not optimal is like the most positive thing you could possibly say there. And it was, I would say that was a moment, and I was at the AC. I know a lot of people were here and elsewhere. that second goal, like you felt it in the room. The first one, you're like, okay.
I was in Alaska during the game. And,
With
me and my-
puffins?
With
A
puffin,
puffin.
A puffin.
single puffin.
Yeah.
Longer story. But me and my girlfriend were actually trying to find a bar to catch the game because, fun fact, Univision Deportes is not very popular as a channel
No.
in Alaska, Kodiak,
Wow.
Alaska. So we were trying to find the channel, and then I saw the first injury, then the second injury, and then the 2 goals, and I kind of just stopped looking for a bar to or the
We're
channel. Like, yeah,
good.
we're good, I think. And I got a couple texts from friends that were like, "You're probably good not looking for the game."
Don't do it. And then did you just find another bar and like have some whiskey?
Yeah, and then we went home and had more drinks.
That was probably a wise decision. So we should talk about Alaska because that sounds fun. I've never been. Have you guys ever been?
I've never been to
One
Alaska.
state I've never been to.
Oh, Alaska's
The
amazing.
One. It's the only state
Seriously?
I've never been to.
That's so close.
I'm impressed.
What about Oklahoma?
I've been to Oklahoma.
Oh wow.
He actually moved the Sonics.
I drove the truck.
Just let it go.
I'm just trying to think of other
just
states.
Let it go. Just let it go. Let it go.
Been there.
Find a let it go graphic and make this segment better, Adam. Anyway, so we'll get back to Alaska. I would love to talk about that.
To Alaska.
Yeah, I don't know. How are you feeling after goals number 1 and 2 on Wednesday evening?
I
Was eating pancakes.
was eating pancakes.
Did you not watch the game?
No, I watched that game.
Uh-huh.
I did not watch yesterday's
You
game.
don't do it.
I got a second picture.
That was a wise life decision.
the living room cleared out pretty
I
quickly.
think I actually had some of the beer from that
Yeah, I
picture.
think so.
yeah.
I mean, my general thought is if you forget the game happened, it didn't exist. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I missed the first like 7 or 8 minutes, so I missed the entire game that included the original lineup.
yeah. Awesome.
By the time I was on, I didn't even, I
It's
I
just-
watched it, but it was not.
And this isn't to say that there aren't other players that aren't tough or aren't whatever, but I don't know. I've seen Will Bruin get roughed up by people before. Dude just gets up and kind of churns, and like you watched it before the slow motion version. It's like, oh, he got
Right.
the ball and that dude's head, and he's just done, like right there, like you saw it. And then you watch the slow motion, and it was like when you're in a car accident and your head's swinging multiple directions. Like it was bad.
Well, the
Like,
fact that he
I
was-
haven't seen the replay.
the fact that he was
full
still out.
ripples.
Yeah.
or-
yeah.
The fact that he
just-
was still out on Sunday.
Yeah. I haven't seen that, but that's an excellent GIF that he will not like on the internet if you
Right.
post it. So, right, send it to Will Bruin at SoundersFC.com, and then he will block and report you. Injuries aside, that was a really, really rough experience. I guess, like, having seen now Sunday's match after that, I wonder if it didn't matter. Like, if only one of those players even went out, like, would we end up with a similar result? And my answer right now is kind of maybe. But I really feel like it was just so devastating to them probably at the half. You're like, wow, these guys are done.
Yeah.
You don't know if Chad Marshall's coming back. You've got a game on Sunday. Will Bruin's definitely not playing. Plus all the other stuff. Like, that's got to just be so demoralizing.
Yeah.
Which is like hard to even talk about. Mm-hmm. So I can't even imagine where Schmetzer and the coaching staff and players are. But it was genuinely hard to watch, and I feel like it's been a minute since I've had a game where I was like, wow,
yeah.
like I kind of want to cringe.
yeah.
Mark, what's on the internet?
Oh, I'm just catching up on our Twitter feed that we have not been paying attention to.
Cool.
lately.
Well, this isn't that segment yet, so
I have a segment for that. I mean,
there's a segment for it. So
Later.
we'll get to that. So overall, I think I was really pleased that the team appeared to commit to CCL. It really felt like they put their best foot forward at the home matches, the earlier matches.
Right.
Loss in Santa Tecla aside, they definitely lit that lineup up the next match at home.
Yeah.
They clearly put them ahead of LAFC, and for like a marquee matchup that, frankly, the league has been sitting on for 3 months, just waiting. They're like, that's going to be huge ratings, and it did great. But the fact that the Sounders actually like prioritized players for CCL was cool.
And I'm just going to have a question we may get to later, but was it worth it? Do you think it was a good decision to basically throw away the first 2 games, more or less, of the last season?
I would say yeah. I like that decision versus how they've treated other tournaments in the past. Does that mean there's not a middle ground? Does it suck that Jordan Morris is out because of CC? Yeah, like that stuff's awful. But they're
That
like,
could've
we
happened
recognize
anyway.
this was something. This is a mountain we haven't climbed. Like we want to win this trophy. Okay, like I'll take that. Like if you're telling me you're going to take a risk and you lose while taking the risk, I think everybody's okay with that.
You at least tried.
Yeah.
So
and-
here's my question: in the past, would you say that they have not really tried?
No, I feel like
To win
I feel like
CCL.
the way scheduling has been in CCL in the past because of where the teams from Mexico and USA now
Right.
start, and Canada start now, it's a different tournament because you were playing those group stages before where we were playing in whatever that was, July, August, September
Yeah.
kind of time
Right,
frame.
right.
It was in the peak period, like the spot where, you get a Ladero and then you make a run and win MLS Cup, like
Yep.
that part of the season. So fixture congestion in August and September is
Brutal.
awful.
Right. Yep.
As opposed to like Jan, Feb, March, like, I mean, now we can talk about it. Like, I knew, we were told to our faces in ECS, like a number of us had conversations and we were told, like, this isn't public information. Players are in camp on their own.
Yeah.
They're here. And then there was like videos on the internet of like goofy shit in the locker room and like Clint Dempsey's there. And it's like a week and a half before training was open. Like, cool. Like, you guys are in
Yeah.
at that point. And you have like major like global internationals that are showing up 2 weeks early
That
to
doesn't
get on
happen.
the same cycle.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a very un-MLS thing. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying other teams haven't done this before, because I'm certain that they have, and I'm not saying other teams have never committed to it. But Garth et al. Said what they were going to do, and they did it, which was cool. And it burned them badly, which
Yeah.
is the bummer of it all. But at the end of the day, like you play to win or you don't. And this isn't like playing Kitsap Pumas in round 4 of U.S. Open Cup where you're like, if S2 plays, I'm kind of okay with it.
Right.
This is like you're playing Chivas in the middle of their season.
Yeah.
In fact, the second half of their season, they've all been playing for 7 months at this point, and you guys showed up to play. Okay, like that's cool. Acceptable risk. I think you want a team that wants to win that tournament, and I think they said what they were going to do, and they did it.
Yeah.
Are we billing Max, by the way, for using our power strip?
I mean, probably.
I do have a watt
Did we get billed
Hour.
by the Berliner?
meter in there.
Okay, just checking. I'll go back to drinking.
So, given that this was, for the most part, the first year that you would say that we really did try.
No, I think they genuinely tried in the other years. I just think you were doing it wasn't preseason before.
Okay.
It was in the middle of August, and you were playing Portland on Sunday, Vancouver the next Saturday, and you had a Wednesday match in
Santos Laguna.
in Mexico.
And the other thing too is that the talent level's definitely picked up
It's completely
since the
different.
last
Yeah.
time we played. Where
Okay.
we're
It's just we're now. It's like Open Cup.
Yeah.
Before, not to say that we were in Open Cup at the beginning, the first rounds, but like those round robin kind of things is a different mentality. Like this
Right.
is win or lose, whereas before you were playing 3 other opponents,
Yeah.
or 2 other,
Yeah.
groups
2
of
others,
3 or
yeah.
groups of 4.
it was groups of 3.
Groups
it was
of
Groups
three.
of 3,
Yeah.
like you were at a minimum playing 2 series against other teams. Now it's like you play 1, it's home and home, and if you lose, you're done.
Yeah.
So I think we committed the appropriate level, and I feel like they definitely have committed the appropriate level in the past for CCL. I always feel like they've taken it seriously, but your ability to not play players at that point is different than now.
Okay.
And frankly, you knew who your opponents were well in advance by the time you got to CCL when it was in the summer fall, as opposed to now we're like, well, it could be Chivas or it could be these other people. and we have to win to get there. Like, you may
Yeah.
not even have those matches. So you're taking a risk just by playing the players, because if you lose out, now you've tired your players out and you can't play them the next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I don't want to defeat your point,
No,
but
that's yeah. No, that answers it.
Okay.
Answers my question.
good. Do you have any other questions?
Well, no. I mean, not currently.
Do you have any other questions we want to answer?
No.
Cool.
No.
Cool. So Wednesday happened. I think it was just disappointing overall, aside from the fact that people would love to have had to play Club America or Red Bulls.
Well, we play Red Bulls a lot, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually not very well.
Yeah.
but we've
But home and home, you never know.
yeah.
They have a cool arena. It's a
Do
decent
they?
In
place.
New Jersey.
I
It's a
actually
decent
don't
place
really
to
like
watch
their
soccer.
arena. I've been there a couple of times. It's
think
not
it's pretty good.
It's all right. It's not like the tempo of soccer that everyone talks about, but that's a whole.
It is not that, but compared to many other crappy
Yeah.
arenas in MLS,
Yeah.
I'll take it.
I think Tom likes it because it's in Jersey.
I actually think it's fine,
It's just because he's from New Jersey.
as things from New Jersey go. You know what?
And he went to Rutgers.
Is it Rutgers?
Does he even
Play
pump his
field?
own gas?
Anyway, moving on. So disappointing Wednesday, Thursday for everyone.
Yes.
Uh,
Friday.
And then I think we kind of went into the weekend with very positive expectations for Friday night.
Yes.
Before we ever got to Sunday. So did you go to S2? Did you go to
didn't. I
S2? You
wasn't
were
able to
not
make it,
here. Did you go to S2?
I was there.
Would you like to tell us a story about S2?
tell a story of S2? Well, first off,
It was lit, fam.
it was actually very lit.
Actually lit.
So, how many off the top of your head? How many people can fit in Starfire on a normal S2 night?
Couple thousand.
Couple thousand. They had an announced attendance of over 6,000.
Oh wow.
Excellent.
That's a lot.
great.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to hold over the year.
No, but-
We'll find out. But the fact that it was 6,000 tells me that hopefully we'll at least get 2,000 a game. I mean, that would be awesome.
Well, it wasn't 6,000, and then you looked at the actual
Yeah.
field, and there's no one there, and you were like, "Oh, okay." You've a good 5, 6.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, you're in the neighborhood.
The stadium. I think I looked it up last week, and I think it was 12. So
Yeah,
and
all
it
in.
was easy. It was easily half full.
That's great.
Just under there anyway.
Like
yeah.
Friday in March.
Yep.
Okay.
And yeah,
Oh, no, yeah.
and a new team for the city of Tacoma. Driving to Tacoma from Seattle, the number of people that showed up
Worst traffic ever.
it really is on a Friday night, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a great show. Casey and his team put on a fantastic show. ECS was out in force. The fact that
Casey Catherwood.
Yes, Casey Catherwood. The fact that we were able to, I wasn't in ECS, but the fact that we were able to put light off, smoke,
Yeah.
and just have that whole atmosphere built that way. And they're like, yeah, I mean, like the stadium was like, yes, we want that. We want that atmosphere. Not just, oh, well, we'll have to see if we can do it, but they really wanted that.
They went in.
Yeah.
They really went all in.
Which was great.
Yeah.
And I think from, the access that they gave, I can speak for ECS, the access that the group got
Yeah.
on weekends to walk sections and
Right.
check out the concourse area and figure out about do we need to store stuff here? What are things we can do? They're pretty open arms.
Yeah.
And not to the point where it was pandering. It was almost like they didn't want to say no, to be honest. In a, not scared, but in a, holy shit, we'll just do whatever. And
Yeah.
we were like, okay.
Yeah, they not. It wasn't a, like you said, it wasn't a a hesitation. It was more of a, I can't believe somebody's asking us to have this much fun,
Yeah.
right? And to allow this much entertainment and joy to go, because they've done baseball, and
And if you
There's
don't
not a
know
lot.
minor league baseball,
Yeah.
it is universally fun.
Yeah.
And it's meant for the 67-year-old or the 6-year-old to have a good time.
Yes.
Whether you want to sit there and score the game in your book, or you want to go in the bouncy house, which we'll talk about bouncy house later. You get ready,
Bouncy
Tim.
house?
get ready. Just
Have you
get
seen
ready.
my eyes?
There's no bouncy house.
No.
but we'll talk about
So
one. But like to the activities they have, to the
Right.
contests, to the songs they play,
Yes.
to the theme nights, to whatever. And I expect, good or bad, like you share your opinion or not, good or bad, them to try a lot of stuff.
Yes.
And they did,
And they're going to keep doing it.
which we should talk about some of those things.
They're gonna keep trying. They're gonna keep. I mean, the thing that's really
Hi, Emily.
yes. Hi, Emily. The thing that's really cool is specifically with Casey Catherwood, who's a friend of the show, is he's done Rainiers for quite a few years now. He did Stars for a couple of years, and so he kind of has obviously that in-game experience, but he's not ever done traditional soccer where you've got two 45-minute sections where really there is no in-game entertainment.
Yeah.
And so for him to see what he can do during the open and during half, and the fact that he just kind of gets to chill the rest of the time, it's kind of a nice, relaxing break for him. But it's fun to see how much he can push during those two segments.
Yeah.
He did a segment called at half called "Is That Fish Famous?" and it was absolutely fantastic. He does know that our nickname is Flounders, and I think that was the fact that he was like, I'm just going to embrace that and have fun with it. Was pretty.
Yeah, roll
brilliant,
with it.
especially in front of T2. Oh, by the way, about maybe half an hour to an hour or so before the game, I texted him because I was in the control booth. I was like, "Hey, are there any Timbers supporters? Is it T2 section? Anything like that?" He's like, I don't know. And he's the guy who would know this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that kind of made me feel a little bit like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
We don't really necessarily have to look out for the away supporters tonight because it's all about Tacoma Sounders. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome.
So
And Dave did a fantastic job, by the way.
Yeah.
If you go back and watch and listen to the show, the broadcast, the last hour and 45 minutes of Dave talking was the best.
What about the first 15?
The first 15 minutes, I mean, well, I would say actually the first 15 minutes were by far the best of the whole
For you.
for the
Like,
whole
you
show.
produced.
It was the best. It was the best. Those 15 minutes of silence.
Tell us why none of us are going to
The
experience it.
insights that those gentlemen had during those 15 minutes were like
Yeah.
NFL Super Bowl level.
And you'll never hear 'em.
And you'll never hear them.
Yeah, and it was funny because in ECS Slack, there were a bunch of people like, I can't hear any sound. Do you guys know what's going on right now?
Yeah. So there was
Yeah.
just some confusion with it was listen, these
You fucked up.
This sure. I'll take it. But this was the first broadcast out of this stadium for the first time ever, with brand new gear that was literally. I went back on Saturday to pick up some stuff that I had left overnight, and they were still installing some gear.
Yeah.
They got a huge tech upgrade, and so they were still installing some stuff. So So when we went live, we had test and everything was working, but there were some weird gremlins in the system, and while we were live, we had our engineer on the phone with whoever and figuring out what was going on, and they got the proper switches flipped. But yeah, I mean, gremlins. That's
Yeah.
all. That's what it
Yeah,
was.
but
it was still.
we'll get
I
over
mean, it's
it.
to be expected.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like nothing
Yeah.
out of the ordinary.
Right. And I mean, and this was also that crew's first time doing a live broadcast ever. And one of the things I told them was, you go and you watch the Super Bowl, you watch these big like Macy's Thanksgiving Day, like these big overly produced live shows. I don't know that I've ever watched one where a major malfunction didn't happen of some kind or another.
Well, there's a gazillion moving
Right.
parts.
Exactly.
And in the case of the parade, literal moving
Right.
parts that are flying over you.
Yes.
Full
Exactly.
of
Exactly.
things.
I mean, yeah. So they, they were all super happy. We got it done, and we're going to make improvements every game. So
you will always be there at S2,
in theory, yes.
and you are directing.
I would probably be more of a producer role, but yes,
Okay.
yes.
So if
I'm
anything
not,
goes
I'm not
wrong,
calling the shots between the cameras, which is more of a director's job. I'm making sure that Dave is talking properly and not cursing like he does. But they're on time. Their cues are in place. They have the materials they need. I will be occasionally calling shots saying, hey, they're talking about so-and-so. We need to cut to so-and-so. Stuff like that. But for the most part, yeah, I'll be more of the...
so in the future, when something bad happens,
Text me. No, don't text me.
not during the match.
Jeremiah
Todd-
O'Shan.
Todd at Sounders. Todd at Sounders. One day after the game, something happened. Oh, it was when the game had ended and we wanted to do Boom Boom Clap, and they played some song in the stadium, and everybody's got their arms up, and then I guess they realized it in the booth in CenturyLink, and you could hear them like, "Meow." And then we did Boom Boom Clap after the final whistle, and Todd's like, just text me if you guys ever want to do something. And I'm like, well, one, I don't have my phone out, and two, you don't actually want me to do that. And he genuinely meant it.
Right.
But in all seriousness, in the future, when something goes wrong at S2, just in general, like if the beer's too foamy or whatever, should people come to SonarFeed the next week and complain to you or Dave? Which one of you is in charge?
Actually, they should definitely come to SonarFeed and complain to both of us.
Both of us. Got it.
In fact, come on the show.
So, like, you were just inviting...
Anybody who has
segment, by the way, that's just complaints of.
I think
S2.
it might be. Mark just woke up.
He's like checking
Mark's
his
like,
phone. He's
I
like,
know how to complain.
I like complaining about things. I have experienced foamy beer.
This is a good dunkel.
Yeah.
It is. I'm pretty pleased about it. Anyway,
But ultimately, it was fantastic. I mean, the energy and the excitement from the crew, seeing that, because they're all, like I said, they've all done baseball number
Yeah.
of times, and afterwards, hearing this crew come through the booth, drop off their cameras, drop off their gear, they were just blown away by the energy level. They had
How
not
many
seen
cameras?
anything. Oh geez, I think we had 4 or 5. Not 5.
oh wow,
Yeah, it was at least 4. I think there might have been a 5th one. Now that I think about it.
that's great.
Yeah.
The one that kept wandering into ECS was
Yeah. So by the way, Casey, a different Casey. His name is probably going to be the camera operator who's on a remote camera, who's following Casey around during the match. He's kind of free to roam around, and his job is to get scenic shots and not pay attention to the game because we have enough cameras on the game. I did give him a little bit of a warning of ECS, but he's still going to
Wait, so you're saying
he's
that
still going to push his way in.
you're saying that there's
There's multiple cases.
another camera person not named Matt that ECS does not need to give the finger to?
I would recommend-
Max Aquino.
You can give me the finger anytime you want.
That doesn't mean he's not going to shoot you.
Yeah.
No, I've been open about that with ECS.
Yeah.
That they're always welcome to flip me off.
Yeah, and I told him, I was like, if they
Max likes being
if they
fingered.
give you hell, just turn around and walk away. He's a pretty cool kid though. So I mean, I would, you know,
you just seem sort of like
yeah, he loved the energy.
odd, but whoa.
Yeah, he loved the energy.
So top 3, 4 takeaways from S2 at Cheney, and it could be like, don't ever spill the beer on the control board.
yeah, that wasn't what happened.
No, but really, like top 3, 4 takeaways.
But let's be honest, who hasn't done that?
I mean, today.
I would my the biggest takeaway was how I came in a couple days before and the field wasn't all the way ready, and honestly they didn't have the lines all the way painted until I think the morning of. It might have been the night before. They were painting them. The layout of the field is a lot better than I expected.
Was it?
I did not expect it to be as neat as
I don't think I saw
form-fitting as it was.
any complaints.
Yeah.
And you had sent me a Snapchat
Yep.
that afternoon, and it was obviously a beautiful day.
Right, it
And
was
you were like,
gorgeous.
it's happening.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, that fits
Yes.
on the field really
Yes. So
well.
So better or worse than New York?
Much better.
Like, I don't even think you would put those two in the same
No,
neighborhood.
wow.
it's remarkably it feels natural as much as it can be for a soccer field to be in the middle of a baseball stadium. That's my biggest takeaway is how well they did, how well they converted that. The support from ECS and the local community is my second biggest takeaway, and then the third is just how great Dave Clark is.
I cannot wait to talk to Dave Clark about this because
Yeah.
genuinely, dude is, I think, over the moon about this. That not only did he get to do it, but that like it went well, and he's like, oh yeah, so me and other people that are working behind the scenes are all talking about XYZ. And I'm like, you are all in
He was having-
right now.
Yeah.
So is he going to
So-
leave the sonar feed? Is that like basically what's going to happen now?
I think he's going to grow out a SonarFeed. And although the rumor is that he's working the James Riley angle. So
Yes.
that's going to happen.
Nice.
We'll probably give the Berliner a heads up before
I think we should
that.
have Clint on tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, he is available.
I had him over for lunch today.
So-
So
He's probably
he
out
was
fishing.
busy.
Dude probably stayed in
That's probably
Texas a
true.
couple extra days. And I just want to give a big shout out to Larry and Emily,
And Emily,
who are in the
yes.
chat, who selfishly, ECS Tom is like, you guys really killed it. But beyond that, I think they have spent a lot of time on the road
Right.
to and from Cheney Stadium
Yes.
and just getting stuff together and genuinely just wanted it to be good for everyone, not just the
Right.
ECS
Right.
section. And that's super cool to see people who are like, nope, we're going to own this and we're going to try and hit this out of the park, to make a baseball reference.
Yeah.
But I think what's fun about this, and it's really the same as we saw with S2 at the beginning, as much as we all want to like point out that the logo is still trash and the name could use some work and
What,
50
S2?
other things. Like, it's easy to talk shit. I think it's really hard to like point out that there are people who've been behind this since day one.
Right.
And like those guys are nuts for this. So good on them, because they're not just doing it for themselves. Like, they're genuinely like motivating other people to be like, oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And while we have to drink Coors Light in the stadium,
Instead of Rainiers.
curse you, Coors Light.
Dave, they don't serve Rainier in the stadium.
No.
Nope.
How's that
Coors
possible?
Lighthouse.
It's
It's
Yeah,
over
well,
in years, so they don't serve Rainier.
That's insane. They use the same logo.
yeah.
I'm not a beer distributor. I don't.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Dave
I'd be able to
is
talk.
a beer
Otherwise, I'd be
distributor.
able to talk to it. Oh,
Dave
where
Clark,
is Dave?
get taste expert Dave Clark. Get on this, Dave. I will say, and this is the stuff we need to talk to him about. But I did want to close it out though. But
Larry says they
shout
have
out to
100 taps.
to M and Larry. They have 100 taps and no Rainier. Oh, but Tecate Bombers. Ooh,
Tecate Bombers are actually high on my
That's-
list.
Bottles for $11. 22 ounces for $11.
I mean, it sounds like a Sounder or a,
There's like-
a Mariners game.
there's like a battle going on here at Berliner to point out how tall the bottles and cans actually are.
And
They
expensive.
might actually be 72 ounces
for like
for
$2
for $11.
Sign me up.
Yep.
Mark is like, I am in. 100 taps, dude. Get on that.
In it.
Yeah, he's looking them up right now. So that's pretty exciting. It is in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that this will be really successful, and
Yes.
I do expect there will be a little bit more separation over time between this team and Sounders. I don't know about legally or otherwise. It feels like that's going to happen, and it's not to say they won't be the minor league team or whatever you want to call it. But I think, one night is not a whole season.
No.
But
Nor are two
that's
games.
a pretty big... Good job. It's 6. Now I'm mad online on video. So cool. Thanks, Adam. But genuinely, I think there's a lot, not to say there wasn't a lot to build off of when S2 started.
Right.
There's so much to build off with just the new energy.
Yes.
Tacoma wanting a team in Tacoma. The Rainiers being involved, people like Casey, and so on and so on and so on. Like, we go down the line, that it would shock me if they weren't really all in on this.
Oh, they're
the city's all in
city,
it.
I mean, yeah.
I work with Metro Parks. They're like, oh my God, we can't believe this is happening. I asked them to get a train. They haven't gotten a train, so I don't know.
Just
if
from
that's
your
a-
office?
No, I just want a train in the parking lot so we can do the
Oh,
choo-choo.
yes.
That hasn't happened yet.
Like the
but
little, like the farm train.
just have it go by.
Just a little tiny one.
Have just go around the field.
Yeah.
Done.
Oliver for one.
But no, I think the city, the neighbors, the people at the Fred Meyer down the street, everybody is probably genuinely excited about this, and that's a pretty cool thing to see. Because there was probably a moment where after the ownership thing changed and after Starfire didn't get renovated and after the Sounders can't decide where they're going to train every damn season and that this was like a good renewal moment for them. It is a good point.
Yeah.
Mickey points out in the chat that they should think about Open Cup in Tacoma. I don't know if you'd get more than you get elsewhere because you're going to lose some people who come from Seattle, points east, points north, who may not go all the way to Tacoma. But I think the first time you did it, I think they would do really well.
Especially if they play it like a friendly almost, where they play the first half with like a full 11.
Yeah.
And in the second half,
And, Larry says it's all on the table right now. I've heard the rumor. I don't know anything for sure.
I don't know anything at all,
I have heard the rumor that they've talked about it.
It would fill
and
that
I have to
stadium.
tell you, that's a little bit of a, if you want to bargain with Starfire, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
You take 2, 3, 4 dates off their calendar where they're selling a lot of tickets,
Yeah.
right? And they know it, So
put Mad Pete's out of business there. Right?
right? Just those 3 days,
Yeah.
But we'll see. It's really cool to see though, an actual community really, really energized.
Yeah,
and
it is, and I know a good number of people in Tacoma who either aren't soccer Sounders fans or are but never make it up to games.
Yeah.
Who are already season ticket holders. Mm-hmm. Right, these are people who are like, "Oh, I'm going to support the city, support this moving here because it's good, for the city." They're like, "Oh, I'm in. I'll buy a package," and especially now because all of their Sounders friends who already are ticket holders are buying packages, so they bought them all together. But I mean, I have friends who, like I said, who are soccer fans who can't make it up because they've got younger kids. They're like, "Oh, it's a 5-minute drive to my game now, and so I can take my kindergartner." And be home by 9:30.
It's like anything else. You got to fish where the fish
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
And if that's where the fish are,
Yep.
let's go.
Yep.
And 2-1.
Clint Dempsey's there
2-1. That's the best part, right?
That was the best part.
after the first match.
Sorry, Portland.
No, not sorry.
Not at all sorry.
We can play in our baseball stadium better than you can play in your baseball stadium.
Ooh, snap. Oh,
What's that?
Good call.
Our baseball stadium's better than their baseball.
That's true.
yep.
Still.
Still.
So,
Can I give a few thoughts from? I shot
yes, Max.
Okay, you're on.
I'm handing the microphone to Max something or other.
Max Aquino.
I like you guys.
He's going to pile in.
Come in between us.
All right.
Oh, wow.
That's what Drink said.
Right?
Whoa.
So there's a few things that actually really impressed me across the board. Number one, I liked some of the little details they did. For example, on the jerseys, on the right sleeve, they actually have TAC for Tacoma, which is a nice nod, say, because they're not the Tacoma S2. Well, yes, they are, but they actually made it a point to try to embrace the local community, which I think was awesome. Number two, I loved what the ECS did with the tall boy terrace. It took me until the 70th minute to get the joke. And I was staring, I was like, I get it. And all the other photographers said, what? Then I told them the joke. They're like, oh, that's clever.
It's about the center backs.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Beyond that,
No, but really.
the field itself held up remarkably well. What I'll tell you about baseball fields is that the infill they use between the grass on the infield is different from what they use in the outfield at professional stadiums, such as Cheney. I was really curious to see how much the grass would tear up. I was also curious to see how well the temporary grass would hold up. And after the game, I went down and I walked around and I checked out the little divots, because divots appear no matter what stadium you're in. they weren't significant. It wasn't getting torn up like crazy. People's cleats weren't getting caught. People weren't slipping left and right. They did a very good job with that field. It's slightly, you can tell the difference because the grass is a slightly different color, and also it's raised about probably a quarter of an inch, not too high, but it is somewhat noticeable if you're trying to pass on the ground from the outfield to infield. And if you're trying to run into the corner, I noticed that it's definitely sandier because they do that intentionally to keep it more level. But it still worked quite well. There was one other thing I have to give props to the ECS, especially Larry, when jumping on the Tacoma S2 chant where they got the entire stadium involved. That was very, very well done. I was really glad to see that there wasn't much animosity like between who are these loudmouths down there, and like you have the soccer moms and you have the ECS, and it seemed like they embraced it pretty well. That was basically all I had. Cool. So,
Thank you, Max.
Story, Max.
Thank you, Max.
So, all in all, feeling pretty good about S2 in Tacoma. Next match is what, Wednesday? You said, Adam? Next
The
Wednesday.
28th?
Not this Wednesday, next Wednesday.
Right.
Versus Fresno? Fresno?
Yeah.
Is that who it is? Yeah. Okay, so be there. It's a place to be Wednesday night.
Come 90 minutes early for a couple of reasons. One, as Brego pointed out, the parking lot will get full. And two, happy hour starting 90 minutes before the match.
You had me at happy hour.
And given that it's already
How happy
considerably
is happy
cheaper
hour?
for good drinks, I'm guessing it's even cheaper than for good
Are the
drinks.
bombers like $7 or?
I don't know.
They actually just give them to you.
Oh, sweet. All right.
I'm there.
Mark is like,
Done.
what?
The grass was grown for VMAC, is what Larry said.
Thanks, Lair.
My grass was grown for VMAC too. What's VMAC?
We're the Seahawks.
Did you just say, what's the VMAC?
It's okay. I didn't
No,
know what
I
it was
didn't.
either.
I mouthed it.
Can you just let me make fun of Adam here?
Okay.
Damn it, Tim.
Yes. Adam.
I mouthed it.
Anyway,
How could you not know that?
Are we not doing phrasing?
phrasing. We all had to drink when Max says that he's... Well, anyway.
you guys, yes, I know.
Anyway, so...
I like the fact that the Seahawks just like, here's some grass you guys can have, man.
It was just loose.
We're done with it.
Speaking of which, the one Seahawks comment that I'll make today, somebody tweeted, like, did you guys notice that the Seahawks got rid of Richard Sherman and somebody Richardson and somebody something Richard something and Richard something something? And they were like, I see what they're doing there. And if
more
like
phrasing.
50% of people on Twitter were like, I don't get it. And the other people were like, they're getting rid of all the dicks. And then the other people were like, I still don't get it. And then it was just
And
like,
you're like,
scroll.
I got nothing for you.
Scroll. I'm moving. Get off the internet, people.
Get off the internet. So going from
Anyway.
happy.
So what happened on
So-
Saturday?
Nothing.
I bought a 4K television. And
Really?
Holy shit. Literally everything looks good. Alias
Tom actually had
videos
a
from
tube TV
2005.
from before.
Fuck you. No, seriously, I had a
It weighed that
2007
much.
I had a 2007 plasma television that was 50 inches, and it was the last item that I moved in November, and I broke it.
Oh,
One item in the car,
Oh.
broke it. Anyway, it was time for a new television because it weighed 100 pounds.
so did you use
This
your
television, 17 pounds, 55 inches.
Did you use your television on Sunday?
You know, I didn't. I didn't use it.
We used a really good TV.
We did. So, yeah.
You
so
watch on your
Saturday, bought a
phones.
television. It's beautiful. Sunday, went to North Bend, had a large blueberry pancake.
Oh,
It's relevant. It's the only reason
Yeah.
I
I
brought
thought
it
you
up.
guys went to Snohomish.
how from the time from
I saw snow.
And it's kind of homish, so
hey Tom from the
And I was
point
like, bring it back.
from the point where you ordered to when you got your food, what was the time to pancake?
It was really fucking long. It was like
Okay,
15 minutes.
Really?
I actually went through 2 cups of black coffee. And then at that point, I was like... and then they delivered someone's oatmeal. Nothing else. And then I was just waiting for pancake.
Okay.
One big pancake. And syrup. That's it.
So with the coffee, it was time to pancake pretty early.
And then, did a couple things up in that neck of the woods. Saw some snow again on the way home.
Right.
Did not see Kyle McLaughlin. And
What about Sarah?
Sarah?
Didn't see her either.
I'll remember her.
But I built a mystery all the way to Hellbent. And that mystery was awful because I heard the first, 18 to 20 something minutes of a game in the car.
Worst thing ever on the radio.
And it was not good. And I love radio everything.
Mm-hmm.
And this is actually not a criticism of the announcers.
No.
This game was trash.
Yeah.
From the start. And I looked at our ECS Slack and
Quickly closed it.
Ashley Smashly, Ashley Bizzardo, who's down in Olympia, I believe, so repping down that way, said something like, "Why are we so terrible?" And I commented with like, "If you're surprised that we're not good, I don't know what to tell you." And it was bad on the radio. Thank
How
you.
does he get a new beer?
Because I ordered one.
Oh, can I have one too, please?
So
Order me one.
I mean, Mark would love a beer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you walk home when we get
Thank you.
back.
It's cool. So got to Hellbent. Pretty good crowd.
All the dogs.
Dogs everywhere.
All the dogs.
I played with Puppy Bulldog,
Bella.
Puppy Great Dane.
Do you see the? It was like the mix between a Rottweiler and a Malamute.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was awesome.
You were like, I don't know what to do with you.
Yeah. A
Rotamute.
Yes.
Rotamute.
Oh.
Malloweiler.
No, the Weilers weren't there.
Oh, they weren't.
Okay. I got nothing. I'm letting that go.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the highlight of yesterday, I think I posted a number of them on Twitter this morning. I was like, I'm going to be positive this morning.
The emotional support dogs.
Were the emotional support dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I held Rachel Sparks' dog on my lap for a good 15 minutes.
Oh, Zodog, yeah.
And she's just derping it up, chilling,
Farting.
hanging out.
Yeah.
She did not fart on me.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she just kind of looked around. I was like, oh, I feel calm and collected. Yeah, that didn't last much longer.
No.
No.
So that was bad. We should just go to the segment.
Well, do you want...
Let's just go to it.
You set it up, and I'll keep...
So,
Here's our new segment.
Oh, we have a new segment.
here's our new segment.
Yay. Does that have a theme
Thanks
song?
to Adam. I'm ready. What's our segment called?
SonarFeed reads tweets.
Because we've been made fun of for reading tweets in the past by Mark while he was
But now
on the
it's a segment,
show.
So it's okay.
And now we realize that all the good content that we want to clip into the show is on Twitter.
Fuck, does that mean I need to
So-
open Slack?
No, you can just watch the show and pay attention. So do you want to? Are we starting with the positive ones or the negative
We'll
ones?
start with some new who.
We're going to start with the positives. Earlier this evening, New Who posted something a little around 5:30 tonight. Don't need to read the whole thing, but essentially, we're sorry for the bad start of the season. The fans, we need you to the end because we're nothing without you. We'll promise to do better in the next game, and so on. And came across, and he used the word smile, but like that's something I think of. It's very like New Who iconic is like his smile, even when he's mocking someone that he's just dusted. Great for him to show out. And again, not that like we need to get patted on the back or anything. That was cool to see, I think, while we were prepping for the show tonight. And then the next one from, I guess, was it yesterday?
Yes.
From Steph. Steph and Fry just pointing out, kind of apologizing to the fans, horrible start, and so on. Expect that things are going to change in the next 2 weeks.
So, like,
Tim.
I find it kind of funny that the two people that we're reading the tweets from are the two of the people that are, like, I feel like the least blamed.
New Who got smoked.
He got smoked, but to be fair, he got smoked.
But-
He's a young player.
Right.
And you expect that.
The people
But he didn't
who
get
don't
smoked three
are not the
times.
problem.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I would agree. At the end of the day, like, let's just pretend that that's consistent with their play on the field. Like the people that are like, I'm stepping up right now, did, and it's not to say other people didn't and have to. There's no one owes anybody anything.
Yeah.
But in this, like, again, world of shitty sports where teams win and lose all the time and no one ever does anything, it is refreshing or positive or constructive, whatever you want to call it, to see that they give a shit enough to make a comment. Stephen Fry doesn't have to say anything.
Yeah.
We all know there's a little bit of we're not worthy with Stephen Fry on a daily basis. But, like, that guy, and it's horrible for somebody who's just let up, 6 goals in 2 matches.
Yeah.
I'd say one of them probably is on him.
Yeah.
The one I didn't see in
Ish.
Or-
But, like, again, not that he couldn't stop more, but of the 6, maybe 1. Am I like, that's on him? And he said something? I'm like, you don't need to say shit.
yeah. I mean, that's what I mean.
So, again, like something we've talked about a zillion times in the show, and I probably bring up too many times, like the access we have, again, goes both ways. And I think the players like that people give them adulation, call them on their shit, bump into them in a restaurant, get their space or whatever, but they're still happy to, like, own it. And that's a different thing. Adam?
No, I was agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. You want to disagree? Because I need to fight.
No,
I mean, it's no Derek Jeter gift baskets.
Wait, we get gift baskets?
Tim's like, what?
I hear bouncy castles, and now I get gift baskets?
like all of our guests.
All right, so let's move on into the tweets.
Okay. So first off, we have an exchange between Lickett and Mr. Zakawani.
The amazing Steve Zakawani, who that dude responds to everything on the internet. He made a comment last night after I was in a full-on argument. He made his own comment because someone had come at him, I think. And he's like, look, if you can get on the field and stop me from beating you, you can get as violent as you want or whatever. But until then, whatever. And I was like, that's amazing. And I quote tweeted and I was like, this is fully accurate. And he's like, LOL. So it's up there.
So
on
it
the
says,
screen.
So Lickett asks, do you think this should get rescinded? And do you think his past red cards
Wait,
are held?
let's step back. We didn't tell this story.
Well, yes. And then, but I want to, I'll set it up.
Okay, I'll just drink.
And he says, it definitely shouldn't pay a fine and miss a game when you didn't do anything violent like they thought you did. And yes, unfortunately, they are, meaning his other red cards are against him. So to be clear, this is what the question is.
Mention Hayes and how active he was against Real Salt Lake.
This is the new
This is the one- this is the
JJ
one that-
sent
yes.
replay version. Wow, that didn't.
Yeah, so you can see here. It's going to loop here in a second.
And they
We'll come back to it.
Mention
Fell
Hayes
down
and how active
on
he
the
was
ground.
against Real Salt Lake.
So look, here's his
did he
hand.
actually
His
not
hand.
touch him?
His hand hit his hand. His hand hit his hand.
Recoveries, tackles.
So does Gustav Svensson.
Oh.
And they successfully do for a
Yeah.
Mention Hayes
So
and
here,
how
here,
active he
watch.
was against
This
Real
may
Salt
change
Lake.
my current opinion.
49
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know that he hit him.
All those defensive
So
actions,
they're
recoveries,
gonna see that
tackles.
because they were
So does
definitely
Gustav
reviewing
Svensson.
this
And they
incident.
successfully do
Because there was
for
a pretty
Mention
solid
Hayes
chance
and
he
how
was
active
missing
he was
another
against
match.
Real Salt Lake.
Because
49
his hand, I mean, where it would have hit him, his hand was hitting his own, like, the side of his.
So
Awesome.
does
Yeah.
Gustav Svensson. And
So
they
like
successfully do
just
for
from my point of
Mention
view,
Hayes and how
watching that
active he was
live,
against
I
Real
saw
Salt
that
Lake.
live, and I thought that was
49 of 54 passes.
Yeah.
Especially since we've seen it before.
Right, it's not the first time.
I mean, it was like last year against
So does
Dallas where he did
Gustav
the elbow,
Svensson.
right?
And they successfully do for
And
Mention Hayes and how
seen this kind of
active.
behavior. But like literally just watching that replay just now is crazy.
So let's come back to the Zach response.
Zach's response. So Zach says, saying it should get rescinded, and you shouldn't have to pay a fine or miss games when you didn't do anything violent like they thought you did. And the other half of that is, the other half of the question was, do they hold all of his other infractions against him? And
I mean,
I think they do.
yes.
Well, this was Penso.
Also, what is it? 4 reds
And Stott was the VAR
Yeah,
ref.
and so you got Pencil and Stott,
Yeah.
who've already done this.
Yeah.
To him and Oba,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Was it so? Is it the last 4 Reds to those guys were all Penso related? Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
So that's not awesome. So maybe that gets rescinded on
I've
what is
got
it
a question,
Wednesday?
though. Does that like start calling into question VAR?
VAR. Yeah.
Does MLS because like if I was MLS,
before?
if I was MLS, I wouldn't rescind it because that shows that VAR is a crock of shit. To be
Well,
honest,
because the call hadn't
Well,
happened.
that's under the assumption that the shot that we just saw was from a
VAR
broadcast camera.
Yeah.
It could have been from a sideline camera of a reporter. or something
either way,
like that,
like
but-
even if it's from a sideline,
Yeah.
like it literally shows the weakness in VAR.
yeah,
you know,
because you can't. Yeah, you don't have that 360 view
Yeah.
of what's actually happening when Clint might actually smack you in the nuts
I mean, it's gonna happen.
because it's Clint.
yeah,
Yeah. So that happened, and then there are a couple of other related tweets.
Yeah, so we've got Beth, our friend Bread, tough kid Bread, who says, "I think Clint should win the most passive violent conduct award." She goes on to say, "If you're going to win a red card, if you're going to get a red card, not win a red card for violent conduct, please make it worth it for my entertainment." And then she goes on to say, "I'm now going to request that people in the hallway during passing period refrain from violently conductly moving their arms toward me."
Just ignore that hyphenated phrase there.
I couldn't say it, but I get what she's saying.
I
It's a
agree.
good joke.
She's like, "Oh shit, I just may have brought this on myself." So we should ask Bread if she wants to rescind her tweets, knowing that Clinton may have not been trying to create entertainment value.
Bread,
yeah.
do you?
Also, do your homework.
Please call in. Oh, she just texted. Oh no, somebody's. No, it's not a text.
That wasn't that.
That would be really weird.
But also do your
It
homework.
would be super weird. Like, oh my god.
And there's
So-
one more tweet that we found worth our time.
There was
from our good friend of the show, Dave.
Who?
Dave Clark
Oh, who?
Of the Dave Clark 5.
Yeah,
of the Dave Clark.
he's the
5.
S2 announcer, right?
The S2 announcer, Dave Clark. He says, speaking to Coach, he says, Coach tells Softy KJR we would sign someone if the right player came up. We're definitely looking. He says that Garth/Chris are looking throughout the world for the right talent to add as soon as they can.
I am so mad online that Dave is subtweeting me, and including Brian Schmetzer in these tweets, because Schmetzer could probably be watching right now. Dude's gonna show up he's gonna slide into our DMs.
Schmetz, if you're watching right now, text me.
Yeah. That actually could happen.
I should just build a GIF with my phone number.
We'll
the
just
screen
leave that
run
alone.
across
No.
the bottom.
I think we all know that they're genuinely looking for players at the end of the day. I think the frustration level is there are a lot of people, myself included, who didn't feel like they went into the season prepared. Oh yeah, ship that.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to it in a second.
let's not talk about ship.
Let's finish there.
Let's get into the talent level, which is like something that Gareth Legway has said before. I can't remember the actual article, which is he's all about that summer transfer window,
Right.
and that he's building because that's the value. And so, like under him, I've gotten used to the fact we're not going to get that early season transfer and like get that early season talent in.
Do you think that he's?
Why did we get an attacker last summer?
I don't know.
Do you think that he is on that pattern because that's the pattern that just kind of fell on him? Like for example,
No, that's his play, and that's okay.
That's his style.
No, I don't think anyone.
Versus like I have my kids and my students doing I have 2 classes Mondays and Wednesdays, and they're doing they do a regular show on Wednesdays, and they want to move it to Monday. But the logistics of moving it to Monday is like taking a full day off and not transferring anybody.
I don't think anyone is
right.
convinced that it's like miss or non-feasance on Garth's behalf. I think he has a way of doing things, but we've now created a pattern, like we're in season 3
Yeah.
of And this year, he made his comments before CCL, and he said,
Says Mark Nesterov.
he said in no
Says
uncertain
Mark
terms,
right there. I know this isn't you
he
pretending
said
to be
in no
Brian.
uncertain terms that he thinks it's really hard to weave a player in during the CCL prep. Okay.
Yeah.
But you think it's easier to weave a player in August during MLS Cup run? No. And maybe, I guess my problem is if that's what this league's going to be, because it worked for Portland, and then it worked for the Sounders, and as much fun as it was to talk about Portland going, we're going to destroy the Galaxy and then make a run.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah.
Then the Sounders were like, let's go make some moves. Brought in the best player from the Gold Cup.
Yeah.
Nico Ladero.
Yeah.
And like made a couple moves. Won MLS Cup. Like things happened. It worked.
I mean, and I think that's like what the MLS model is now. Is the first half doesn't matter and the points don't count. Like it's about what Bruce Arena did with the Galaxies for so many years. Is that you can have whatever season you want,
stay above
the
board,
red line, and make the playoffs and make your run, and basically treat the MLS Cup like a cup run. Is basically what you do.
Yeah.
This is all because we have Drew Carey.
Yeah.
Versus
I see what you did.
I'm not. I don't even want to comment. Can we get a new graphic for next week where it's like the showcase showdown? The nickel.
Remind me about an hour before the show next week, and I'll make it. So there was another segment that I did want to do this week, which was, and actually I'm going to change the name right now based off of Casey Catherwood's "Is That Fish Famous?" It's "Is That Sounder Broken?"
Do it.
And I mean, starting the game on Sunday, they put up this graphic, which I
know the
borrowed
exact
from them.
graphic you're talking.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see that ACL is out with a Morris, foot sprain is out with a Lodero,
You want to play the Pitbull
quadriceps sprain, quadriceps sprain with a Rodriguez, concussion with a Bruin, and a knee sprain with an Alonso.
Yeah.
So I mean,
guys, Ozzy's going to be back by March.
Wait.
How does that work?
2019. No.
yeah.
He said March. What? Okay, so the last day of March. Yay! Let's just be clear. With no Ladero and no Alonso, no one is controlling the offense. That's not Roldan's job. Wolf Eichram may get to that point, and frankly was pretty solid. The previous match he was in did not appear to have control over that offense.
The problem with Wolf Ekram was that he was
That's
basically
official name sayer Tim Blakely.
he was playing our striker because Dempsey was so far back, and he's not a striker. Fun fact: like we didn't sign him as a striker. He's not a striker.
Breaking news.
But if you watch that game, he was the furthest forward player, and that
was actually the same thing in the Chivas match.
Which I missed. Yeah,
like the last couple of times the Sounders had the ball towards the area, I'm like, Deuce is doing the like Oba where he's like back on defense. I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, that's right. You realized you're the only person that can probably maintain run a play right now. And like, that's not to say that the other players aren't good or quality players or high quality players. But like, look at the difference between Nico and Roldan at the home match versus Chivas. They were literally everywhere.
Yeah.
And then no Ladero. Like, look at what Roldan looks like without Ozzy and without Ladero. Yeah. He is mentally smart enough. He's mentally smart enough to want to do 20 things, which is great. But he can't do everything.
No.
And the unfortunate part about that is he's so committed to making it be good that he spreads himself thin on his own.
Yeah.
And there's no recovering from that.
No.
So it ends up making him look bad, even though his heat map is like half the planet at that point. but he can't chase everyone down all over the field.
You saw halfway through that, or not even halfway through the first half, that the Sounders were trying to actually bypass their midfield. Like, you saw all the passes that were just going over the top.
Right. Top. Let's save dump and chase for Seattle NHL.
Yeah.
Just me. I don't know. I have strong opinions about that. And frankly, there was no... If you want to put Wingo out there and just dump balls out there and let that dude chase him, okay. Yeah. That's not what we were doing.
No.
So... Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, I actually have a question for you guys.
Yes.
We were talking about a lot of the negatives. Did you get any positive out of that game?
Yesterday?
Yesterday's game, yes.
Dogs.
Besides the dogs that were adorable and amazing, and bring all your dogs to all the bars.
The Hellbent Capo's Choice is really good.
Yeah, that's actually a really good beer.
That was my 2 positives from the game.
I would say, if I really want to say positives, Chad Marshall... We can make dad jokes all day.
Wonder Dad?
That dude did not need to play.
No.
Like, after that, okay. Like, he means it. Torres at full Torres, like full health. And Marshall with Kim as the, like, backup to them. That's a pretty fearsome triple.
Yeah.
You know, Kim's going to be taking some Alfaro minutes.
Oh, please.
Let's just say that. Svensson is, and it's funny, Sounders Reddit had it on there. Svensson was player of the match. Leardom had a pretty good match. I think it's Svensson, and I'm not sure it's close.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the funny thing is, for losing for 3-0, I thought our defense looked good. Is the funny thing to say about that.
But that was the joke about it.
Yeah.
Like Fry, you're like, Fry, player of the match.
Yeah.
You know, like... It sounds dumb to the unaided eye or the untrained eye, but he didn't make 3 mistakes. You know what I mean? He didn't do anything dumb that caused goals.
Yeah.
Like, you got beat. Although Casey could stop saying the simplest of.
Oh, simplest of taps.
Yeah.
We were actually making a drinking game at Hellbent about every time Casey Collier said the simplest of tap-ins.
Did he say the simplest of taps when...
The first goal, for sure...
When Dempsey...
Oh, he should have said it for that.
He should
That was
have.
just the simplest of taps. He missed.
And JJ's talking about this. You know, Svensson's the most important signing in the last 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
Right now,
I'm biased, but
not a bad call. Yeah. I mean, I like that guy. I mean, he also said, you know, what spots are in good shape and what need the most attention. I mean, if we're going to continue to have injuries at, you know, mid-forward or offensive forward, it's offensive forward. Like, I don't know if it's mid or it's wingers. Ship, to me, and JJ and I have completely differing opinions on this. I think that's a miss right now.
The thing about Ship is I remember seeing him before he played for the Sounders, and I was all about his talent. Get him. I wanted him.
Yeah.
He's not. I mean, he hasn't gotten consistent runs in with the team really,
and he's been injured off and on, and 50 other things.
And he has the talent, but like he's not really done it for me. At least when I see him play. Like this game, like he's consistent. I mean, but is he above average midfielder right now? He's trying,
in the
and
league?
I love him. And
he's an above average midfielder.
I wouldn't say he's above average. I think he's average.
I don't know. There's some trash players in the league.
Some trash players. I wouldn't call him trash. No way. But like
on the Sounders, he should not be your go-to above average.
I mean, like the first goal was if I remember correctly, was an errant pass from him. And he was doing errant passes all game
I didn't
long.
even look at the passing stats.
I mean, I could be wrong,
that
so
Chivas
please don't
match
quote
was,
me on this.
What, 52%?
Yeah.
Something like that?
I know the internet actually has... It was a Nagel one. Oh, was it a Nagel one?
Yeah.
For the first
goal?
goal?
It was the heavy touch?
No, the first goal, Nagel wasn't on for the first goal.
No, he was...
No, Nagel was on 8 minutes in.
There's off-camera chatter happening.
No. We're talking about yesterday.
Yeah, no.
That wasn't Nagel.
The off-camera chatter. We'll be
Off-camera chatter.
I could be very wrong on that, but getting back to it is, he's just
mids and forwards.
Yeah, and I don't know what we do because we're starting next match with Nagel as striker.
I guess.
Which
Wingo, please. Thank you, Wingo.
I'd love to see Wingo as getting in some good minutes.
So the thing that I said at the last home match was if we're relying on Waylon Francis and Hanwala Wana to be the only offense on the team,
Yeah.
they're good.
Yeah.
Like, watching two fast players link up and know how to overlap.
Is
I don't know, man. I could watch that all day.
Yeah.
But that can't be the only place you're getting offense from.
Yeah. No, 100%.
So we'll see. Where it goes from here. We should have some fun. We're probably going to run a little hot tonight. Not that the Berliner or Max will probably be mad.
Tonight.
But we should. We're not going to make predictions or anything because the game's not for till next
month.
next Friday, basically.
It's the end of March.
I don't even know when that is.
It's when Alonso comes back.
It is when Alonso comes back. Late March. Thanks, guys. Fuck all of you people.
Let's just go right into it.
Yeah.
SonarFeed
Are you saying
questions.
Alonso
You know how
is
this works?
I have no
Christ.
idea.
So
Hot
it's rapid
seat.
fire.
All right.
Is that what you're
It's hot
saying?
seat.
This is hot seat. This is happening.
We're gonna ask questions. You can pass if you don't have an answer, but
That
we
seems
will
no fun.
bring them back.
Yeah, that seems no
Yeah.
fun.
And let's just go out of the gate with it to decide whether we want to continue
Get it
having him
over-
on the
get it over
show.
with?
Yeah. Thin Mint or Samoa?
No, that's not the question.
Whoa. Because it's neither of those two.
It's
is the
favorite
answer.
Girl Scout cookies.
So the s'mores are my favorite ones right now. The new ones, they're amazing. I know. And then tagalongs are my second for the old school.
Just end the show right now.
Samoas, he says.
He did not say Samoa.
I heard Samoas.
No. Anyway,
Samoas.
S'mores.
did you get
Samoa.
dessert? Holy shit!
Oh, that's amazing.
All right, so Tim's fired.
Yeah. No more questions.
You're all right.
Biggie or Tupac?
Oh,
Biggie
Biggie
or
or Tupac? Tupac, easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that like a West Coast play?
I mean, it's kind of West Coast, but I just like Tupac. He's
All right.
woke. He's good.
That's your deal?
Yep.
Okay. Adam?
I already answered these questions.
What question would you like to ask Tim?
What was the last taco that you had?
You guys are going to make fun of me because I'm vegetarian, so it's going to be stupid, but it's going to be the...
Choco!
Choco taco.
it is a yam taco.
Oh.
That was at, what is it called? Baracho.
Oh,
yeah.
Baracho.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what's all on that?
It's like a
Not meat.
marinated
Yams.
yam, and then they have some crema
Yeah.
on it, and like a little like the spring onion.
Yeah.
Like it's actually really good.
Yeah. So Taco Man, his very first show
Yeah.
was at El Baracho in Tacoma, right shortly after
Yeah.
they opened, and he went with I don't know if she's vegan, but I know she's at least vegetarian. I think she's going to be vegan as well. And they tried 3 different vegan or vegetarian
Yeah.
tacos there, and he said they were all
Oh yeah,
pretty good.
They have three good choices. There.
I mean,
The yam's the best,
I've
but-
met Taco Man, and he's not your average human.
Do you mean Tacoman? That's the joke. I'm ruining it.
Oh, is that the joke?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
Sorry, it took me a while to get that.
Best $100 or less purchase you've made. Wait, recently that's important to you or like has been helpful.
$100. Oof, that's a hard one. Can we come back to that while I'm?
Yes.
yeah, like that's a hard fast fire.
Yes. We're just going to get this over with.
Yeah.
Which historical figure that you identify with would you like to go in a bouncy house with?
Oh. The bouncy house changes it. I thought it was going to be like the conversation.
Exactly.
And that's what everyone thinks,
Yeah.
I think. Because I would have done Gustav Vasa. But bouncy house with? Attila the Hun would be fun to do a
Oh
bouncy
my
castle.
God. Wow. It might be. There's a lot of Lincoln.
Yeah.
Last week I
Lincoln.
said Helen of Troy,
Oh, Helen of Troy would be fun.
but Attila the Hun.
I think it would be a fun
Like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
Yeah, of course.
Attila the Hun?
I mean, I
Oh,
don't think there's a lot of difference between the real one and the Bill and Ted's one.
Probably not.
well, no, they did a lot of research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi.
To figure out the character's
Yeah,
personas.
I got it. Yeah. Mark.
Beethoven was really like that.
What was the last gift you gave someone
The last gift I gave
besides
on
that
someone.
sweet embrace you gave me yesterday?
It's always a gift. So I buy for my good friend Chip Quinn. I always buy a shot glass everywhere I go.
Oh, nice.
So unfortunately, I haven't given him the one I got from Alaska, but I was just in Tillamook Creamery, and so I gave him a shot glass that looked like a little milk
Nice.
thing.
Awesome.
Yeah, that said Tillamook Creamery on it.
That's a really good answer.
That's a really good answer. Yeah.
Damn it, Tim.
You know what Tom brings me back from trips? A cold.
But he
It's
kept
better
it
if we
with
say
him forever.
mono.
Mono.
Yeah.
Just
like-
that's only on trips that we go on together.
Oh.
What word or phrase do you overuse?
Epic. I use Epic all the time. It's horrible.
I have to tell you, that's true.
Yeah.
What would your last meal on death row be?
Ooh, that's a good question. Mac and cheese.
And
Easy.
drink.
Beer of any kind. Probably a PBR.
Now,
What
now
would
to
your-
spin that,
What would your last meal and drink be if you were on death row records?
Purple drink.
We are keeping that question, gentlemen. Like he didn't even think. He's like purple drink. Duh. Adam, you're up.
make sure you move the questions while he's trying to.
Yeah. I think there's one that Tom wants me to read. He just pointed at it.
Yeah, I saw
I'm
it.
going to see what he's pointed at.
Just ask a different question. Just make something.
So you gave your answer for historical character in a bouncy house, historical figure in a bouncy house. Which historical figure do you identify with?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, oof. I could get in trouble with this answer. I'm going to go with the...
There's no
safer answer.
There's
censor.
no censor.
I know.
There's no fucking censor, Tim.
Wait,
That's
what was
the
that,
problem.
Mark?
I'm going to go with Gustav Adolf, King of Sweden.
Okay.
He's a good conqueror, good, I don't know,
Okay.
good king.
Cool.
Miriam.
Are you going to ask that?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you had to live 1 week over and over for the rest of your life, what would you do Sunday to Saturday? Example, Tuesday, go to Red Robin, but the meal can vary.
What's your ideal week? In
Go to Cinerama,
Yeah.
but movie can change.
You have to do it. But it's the same thing. You're going to do it every week.
Every week.
I need another beer.
And this is going to be very specific, but it's going to have to be the time we beat Chicago in the Open Cup. I would live that week over and over again, just like hanging out with friends before that, going to that. I could go to that game every single day, like for the rest of my life. Like screw a week, every single day I could do that over and over. Just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, hang out with friends.
Happy days.
That was such a good tifo too.
Yeah, it was a great.
It was
tifo. Like,
such a good tifo.
It was the perfect game. Like everything about that game was perfect, and so I would want to live the week leading up to that game every single day.
Hell yeah, dude.
Martin Corpus
No, of course. Hi, Norman.
says, Tim Blakely on SonarFeed? What year is it?
I told him.
Can't decide if
2007.
that's a diss or a
I
compliment.
told him it was 2018.
It might be both.
Am I that old?
I mean, probably.
I don't know.
Yeah. What are your
It's okay. Tom's older than all of us.
Yeah.
favorite kicks?
My favorite kicks?
Yeah.
Adidas. We're talking about shoes, right? Not like kicking people, right?
That's Nazis. We know that.
That's a follow-up.
Exactly. So Adidas, Sambas. Adidas Sambas probably is what I'd go with. I'm basic.
That's twice you've identified yourself as basic.
Yeah.
You
cool,
are
though.
our basic white Tim.
Wow.
Which is the opposite of epic.
Do you have a question?
Do I look like I have a question?
What was the last book you read?
Last book I read was, I'm forgetting the title because it's a very long title about language and the history. The Language Empire, I believe it's what it's called. It's about the history of languages. And yeah, read it on the way to and from Alaska.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, what's it about?
It is literally, it follows... It follows the history of languages. It
Yeah.
starts with the first recorded languages, and just kind of goes through and kind of follows empires and their language is so like the Akkadian Empire. This is getting really nerdy.
Is it like how languages morph from empire to empire?
It's more like a history through language, like why different languages started becoming popular, came through. Why, for example, Aramaic became a big popular thing in the Middle East,
right?
And because they shouldn't, because they never had an empire.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's really very fascinating.
That sounds fascinating.
Yeah. Osweiler.
That sounds like a great diss to like drop on people who want to talk about their heritage and be like, "You never had an empire." What? Sorry, Eritrea. What?
What was the last concert you attended, and why was it Pitbull?
It was so not Pitbull.
Stop.
Actually, the last concert I attended was up in Bellingham. It was a metal show. It was Commander, Nakur, which, if you like black metal, Nakur is a great local black metal band. Amazing. Oxygen Destroyer, which sounds like it's going to sound very kitschy, but they're a death metal band that only sings about Godzilla. It's fucking amazing. Straight up.
Just on general principle, we should all have to go to that.
Yeah, go check out Oxygen Destroyer. They're amazing.
In the late 90s in Portland, there was a Star Wars tribute band.
Huh?
They only sang. There was like an indie rock band that only sang about Star Wars things.
On my
in
jacket,
costume, usually.
I have a patch of a metal band that's called Rebels Come.
I can't
that
remember what
only
they're
sings
called.
about Han Solo.
Nice, nice.
What advice would you give 18-year-old Tim?
Oh, good God. You're going to live past 25?
So slow down.
Or don't slow down, because you know you get at least to 25.
Although, would that change things?
JJ in the chat
paradox
wants to know, I'm going to spin his question slightly, what's something you believe in that other people think is crazy?
That's a good question.
Or maybe think is crazy. Not everybody, just
maybe think is crazy. Hold on a second while we take... Oh, he's going... Yeah, this way.
just make it awkward. On the way back, he'll just climb under, so.
Other people think is crazy.
Maybe
think it's crazy.
I mean,
Sorry, this is a...
Or we could just say, what's a crazy thing that you believe?
Again, I don't want to talk. I don't give up my craziness.
See, I think that maybe you're going to be the one that saves me.
Because after all, I want to do a Spurning song about that, which is like, Spurning, you're going to be the one that saves me. And after all, you're our wonder wall. And he got traded well before that.
I've seen you do karaoke, so it's a little bit of a cheat. It was really good. The bar had no idea what to do. And Tim slightly rearranged. Mm-hmm. But what would you call this style specifically?
It's just it's black metal.
Black metal Poison, not Belle Biv DeVoe Poison.
Which would be amazing.
Which would also be really good. Alice Cooper.
I want to see that.
You also have to check out my Total Eclipse of the Heart, which is an amazing...
I don't have the Eclipse graphic lined up anymore.
And then, but answering the question I came up with...
What's your go-to? Go-to karaoke?
It's Poison. By
Poison. Do you always do it that way?
Yes, always do it that way. And then Total Eclipse of the Heart, Bohemian Rhapsody. By the way, everyone should have a karaoke song.
Literally all people. People come on the show and they're like, I don't really like karaoke. I don't like a song, blah, blah, blah. And then we're like, what song do you do? And they're like, Oops, I Did It Again by Britney Spears. Like everyone has a song. You just kind of got to pull it out of them.
Yeah. And then the best karaoke I've ever done was Fuck the Pain Away by Peaches. Was on one of the karaoke lists, and it was at my friend's work party, and I completely embarrassed him in front of the entire work.
Did you literally?
It was a church work party.
You actually just dropped the microphone.
I didn't realize it was bad until everyone was staring at me. And then
I just realized that Mark left. I was going to drink his beer again, and then he came back.
Oh, cut you, motherfucker.
There are good questions. Do you want to ask that one?
So what is one thing that you would trade? I'm not sure if I understand this correctly, but I'm going to interpret it this way.
All right.
What's one thing that you would trade from Washington and Alaska? Like
Max.
Alaska and Washington has
Puffins.
No, but you've
So
got to
straight up
pick what
puffins.
you
Yeah,
get
but
back.
what's the trade?
Anything.
I would trade the Wrong Siders, which is the Portland subgroup in Vancouver, Washington. I
Okay.
trade them to Alaska, and we get the Puffins.
Okay,
That is a wonderful answer.
good answer.
Earlier, we were also asked puffins or puffins.
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 I only saw one puffin, which was the most. So the story of the like, I was so excited when I found out there were puffins
Story
in
of the
Alaska,
puffin.
and so the entire time I was there, I wasn't
Sherlock
seeing puffins,
Holmes novel.
and I was outside with my girlfriend at the fire, and then I just heard this like squeal, like this, "Ee!" And my girlfriend like tapped me on the shoulder and pointed up, and there's one puffin that was
It was a
flying away,
porg.
running away from a bald eagle. Was basically what the puffin was doing, but I saw a puffin.
If it makes you
Awesome.
feel any better, when I was in Iceland, I saw 0 puffins.
Oh, you missed out.
Yeah. I have to go back.
Yeah, I know. Or
But
go to Alaska.
But how many puffy jackets do you own?
There were a few. The big thing in Alaska is these things called extra toughs, which are like basically boots. They're
Okay.
like waterproof boots. Everyone wears them.
Extra tough.
Extra tough. I kept on calling them ultra tough for the longest time. It sounds like karaoke's going on.
A little Jimmy Eat World.
Karaoke's happening.
Way to start.
If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a good
And
question.
and why?
I think I'd have more follow through. Sometimes I promise too many things to too many people and don't follow through to all of them. And it's being a flake is a horrible.
I don't think you need to explain that one. I think
we all can
pretty
relate.
self-explanatory. I'm not asking. No, I am.
Yeah.
What's your favorite D&D character?
D&D character, like in general, like in a larger sense.
If you were when you
If
play,
you're playing,
I'm gonna
who's
do
your character?
like when I was a kid, I played a dwarf rogue or dwarf thief. I like that because like it was absolutely horrible because they had no dexterity, so you couldn't actually thieve anything.
Yeah.
It was fun. I like setting up characters that fail.
flag that for Dave later.
Hold on. Highlight.
I actually was in a D&D group with Dave for one hot minute.
Oh.
I tried to play it again.
What's your favorite pickup line?
I don't have a favorite pickup line.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever
that's
used
actually
it.
probably a good pickup line.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever used one in my
If
life.
you were a wrestler, what would your entrance music be?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Guar.
Guar would be a good one.
What would be good?
Oh,
Damn it!
you took my answer. Either that or Britney Spears, Hit Me One More Time.
You like setting up characters that fail.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh. Okay.
I don't
like
know
these
what to follow
questions.
that up with. What's your favorite? What's another sports team that isn't the Sounders that you actually pay attention to?
So the other team I do follow baseball, and of course the Mariners, but also the Dodgers because I grew up in. My dad was a huge Dodgers fan. He's the one that like brought me into sports really. So I do follow the Dodgers.
No one goes like you don't go to the Dodgers early. It's that you get there late and you
Yeah.
leave early.
Ah, no,
That's
you
how that
get
works.
there.
You get there in the second inning. You leave around
Spoken like a true
the
New Yorker.
7th. Yeah. Fuck LA.
I mean,
Anyway.
in general, fuck up. Want to know a fun fact about me because I grew up in Southern California?
Yes.
I went to high school with Landon Donovan. Straight up. He's in my yearbook. I almost brought it.
This was literally not what I thought.
Wait,
he was gonna
seriously?
say.
Yeah, seriously. I used to get rides with him to high school.
Can you get the Chili's gift card back that Derek and I bought for him?
He doesn't
for his
like
retirement?
me too much.
Oh, probably that's probably enough said, kind of thing. We could just
You used to carpool with Landon Donovan to
in high
school.
Yeah.
What car were you in?
What was he
It was not
driving?
his car. It was my friends at the time. It was a Chevrolet of some sorts. I don't remember. I'm not a huge car guy.
Okay.
It was a purplish color.
But you still have all your
Purple
hair.
color.
I do have all of my hair. I'm 2 years older than he is. He was balding in high school. Straight up.
Cool.
Fact about Tim.
How was your
Mark is like, I need to go to
was
my
your
Twitter.
was your soccer team good? in high school?
It was all right. So I mean,
Hashtag thanks.
it's a very long story, but the high school I was at
Accurate.
didn't have seniors for 1 year because we built a new high school and
Yep.
they let the seniors stay or whatever. So he played on that, and then just after that, he went to the soccer academy, like in Florida, the U.S. Soccer Academy or whatever.
Okay.
But one time we were shopping for Christmas trees, and my mom was like going around. We were looking at them, and my mom was like, "Damn, that's Landon Donovan." I'm like, "Yes, Mom, I know.
think you were way younger.
I know. I'm old. It's the baby face. It's the dimples."
I like either want to ask 30 more questions or like
I
one more.
want to know more about his life with Landon.
Yeah.
My life with Landon.
That'll be my book when
By
I,
Tim Blakely.
That's actually our soap
That's
opera.
actually-
we're
I
working
was
on.
gonna say-
like 20 minutes ago. We're not
Somebody
telling
want to write us a theme song
Yeah.
for Life with Landon?
Life with Landon, featuring Tim Blakely.
Middle of the day soap opera.
If you could ask the audience live or online
Oh,
to
yeah,
do
sounds-
anything, like for real, if you-
like charitable, like-
do you want them to give a donation to something? Do you want them to show up for a match? Like whatever. If you could ask the people that watch the show today or in the future to do something, what would it be?
Like something passionate that you want.
It could be like, listen to death metal, you idiots.
Yes.
No, that's
No.
no. I mean, this is a serious thing, but just always follow your local team. Go to Sounders games every single time you can. Do what you can.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that's it.
I just now see that Hunch said puffin stuff.
Puffin
He
stuff.
did say
Chat room.
puffin stuff, among other things. He also asked if Landon Donovan was the Liga MX star. Anyway, any other questions in the house here tonight? Max Power?
Why do you have
This
a
is
picture
the
of
one
Ari
and
on your
only
computer?
time that you have to grill Tim.
I mean, until next week.
Any
Yeah, yeah,
any questions
you can grill me
online for Tim?
The best is people are like, I want to ask fucked up questions, but I'm not going to. Adam, do you have a question for Tim?
No. I forgot what I was going to ask earlier when you asked me if I had questions for you.
Okay, so you may or may not be here before the next match.
Yeah.
Hopefully you will.
Yes.
What's your prediction for 3/31, the night before Easter?
And again, I'm a horrible person. Who are we playing again? It's
Montreal.
Montreal.
Oof. They just had a good
Les
game against
Bleus.
Toronto. I mean, I'd be happy with a 1-2-0 win. I think our defense is capable of putting a 0 on there, but I'm not super confident about scoring at this
Chad
point.
Marshall's going to score.
So
a
like
goal.
1-1-9-1.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe play 6 midfielders and 0 strikers, right?
Well, it's good because we don't have any.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, looking at that list, I mean, Ozzy is back, I guess.
Yeah, he says he will be.
Is Rodriguez going to be back? Maybe question mark.
Yeah. So to recap, the people who were out,
Yeah,
we had Morris, Lodero, Rodriguez. Bruin will probably be back if he still has a concussion after 3 or
Yeah.
4 weeks.
I mean,
That's a major concussion. And Alonso and then Dempsey's going to, at least as of now, he's out.
hopefully,
Nights that he hopes Rodriguez will be back, but he's the least likely.
yeah.
So
I mean, like, it's we're not going to score a lot of goals.
no,
Heartfield Tim says
Not a lot of
1-0,
tacos.
2-0.
not a lot of free tacos.
Yeah, I mean, they put what 2 on Toronto, 1 on Toronto. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, I'm not filled with confidence on it,
Yeah.
but if we can score a goal, and I do have confidence in our defense. So.
We brought you here for positivity, Tim.
I'm sorry, 15-0.
We do we do have one more question.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
What are your thoughts on socks and sandals?
horrible.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm sorry to offend anyone, but
You're not offending this group.
It's okay. Aaron doesn't even watch the show,
You could text him right now. Tell him on Waze where you are.
right?
He loves that.
On ways.
No, he doesn't.
Honk him.
Anyway, Thanks everybody for joining us.
carry
Thanks Adam for keeping it real.
So-
and making S2 happen.
On
No, we don't have time for
we
this. No,
do.
I'm just kidding.
So on Friday night, we were looking at the scoreboard, trying to figure out some stuff and trying to figure out if we could use the actual like baseball scoreboard. And we decided that what we should probably do is put goals for every 10 minutes in the innings section.
Yes.
That would be amazing.
Yes. Please.
So funny.
Please.
Are you actually going to do that?
No, I tried to convince him.
Come on.
Damn it.
So fun.
Casey, make it happen.
That's on a high level of fucked up.
Wouldn't it be
things
great
to do?
It's like in somewhere in the 70th minute, in the 7th inning.
And
When
that's
you-
when you
I-
tweet at New York City FC and you go, can you relate?
They,
And
by
they
the
have
way,
things for extra innings too, so you get like
Yeah,
the extra
exactly.
time. Yeah.
they
You have the
are
10.
still
Did you?
angry that we did 1, 2, 3 goals and you're out. They were like legit in the stadium, turned around and looked at us and were like, "You're all assholes." And
Yeah.
we're like, "What? We're just singing the song. It was in the right time. I don't understand your problem right
Yeah,
now."
it was in the 70th minute, right?
Yeah.
were
Playing the baseball
hilarious,
stadium.
seriously.
Very unhappy
Oh, I
with
love that.
us.
I love that.
Look.
Another thing unrelated to soccer but related to minor league baseball that I found out, speaking of when they go into extra innings, when they go to the 10th inning this year, they're going to start
Runner
a runner
on second.
What?
Really?
Is that
Yes.
happening? I did not. That's horrible. Why would you do?
Make it go faster?
Still,
Yeah,
what's
I
not
had not
slow?
read that.
I'd finally
minor
get
league
to second
baseball.
base.
Yeah, I don't know.
Minor league baseball is super fast.
Yeah.
It's because there's no TV timeouts.
Mark had a man on second one time, and we all know what happened.
I just we're gonna say goodnight now, my friends.
I told you not to share about our night.
We're out.
Peace, y'all.
All right.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everybody.
guys.
Goodbye.
Good night, everybody.